too much?
I don't know. Is there such thing as too much? Welcome, everybody. We are Too Sweet to Delete. Welcome to Too Sweet to Delete.
The old school version.
As you see here, we are in the old school headquarters, the Wilber Club.
I've come for your soul.
And the maniacal one has come for your soul. We are here to do an old school review of the most recent WWE pay-per-view on the Raw brand. It was No Mercy.
The return of No Mercy. Nothing like the video game, but good nonetheless.
Oh, well, you know, the video game was definitely more addictive, but this show definitely brought a lot to the table. I don't know if you want to get right to it, or do you have
Should we get to let's kick it off with the pre-show with two guys that have no idea who they're going, what they're doing with. So let's just put them in a match and start things off wrong. So, next match.
Real quick.
The kicker, because if you're not first, you're last. So let's get on with the IC title, the Intercontinental title, the most prestigious title in WWE.
Definitely the oldest title as far as like with the new way things have changed and the designs and everything. But the IC title's been around forever. The Miz, according to Reddit, according to a lot of wrestling facts, he's approaching that honky tonk man level of how many days overall he's held the title, how many times he's captured it. So the Miz is on a roll. And in his hometown of Los Angeles, in his hometown. Sorry, hometown.
Man.
Well, we know. But
how about we just sum this up really quick? Ready? You ready, everyone? We know who should have really won this match.
In real life, I don't think anybody in that locker room wants to tangle with Jason Jordan.
And in the WWE ring, we know who should have won that match.
There's a huge difference, though, between being a exceptional wrestler / athlete and being an exceptional wrestler / entertainer. And the Miz,
and that's what that match was.
The Miz has all those boxes checked, and honestly, I think he builds a lot more prestige to this title because there's a lot of rumors on who's going to pick up the title next. But it won't be Jason Jordan. Apparently, the crowd, we watched it live on the WWE Network. The crowd was chanting, "Who's your daddy? Let's go, Miz." Just total reverse old school. We're like, hey, man, you just boo the face and you cheer you boo the heel and you cheer the face. Yeah. They had it backwards. Jason Jordan did really well. And the Miz is a dope worker. He's got his moves. He's got everything set. Jason Jordan, with the distraction by the Miz Taraj, of course, loses by eating the skull-crushing finale. Jason Jordan probably moving on somewhere else on the card. Who knows where this Kurt Angle experiment thing is gone?
So crazy, but we all know should have won this match. But hey, that was the whole match for you.
I'm sorry, guys. I really like Jason Jordan.
I like Jason Jordan too, and that's how we know who should have really won this match. Next match, man to man. So no demon. MMA. Man-on-man action in the WWE. I've come for your soul.
Yes, indeed you have.
Well, apparently it was God versus man.
Well, that's what Bray styles himself as. Definitely love Bray on the mic. He can works.
I like it. I like the, I am a god. He can get
almost anything over, honestly, on the mic. He can almost get it all over. A lot of people, he's a cult leader without a cult. So, of course, he has to be a god at this point.
We are the cult. The fans are the cult, dude. Because do you not see...
We are the Fireflies.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he is the leader of all of us. Because if he wasn't, we wouldn't be putting out the light every time he came out.
He still has one of those strongest entrances in WWE. So, anyway, man, Bray has a great entrance all the time. So, who knows? Finn Balor comes out, and we saw the brand new jacket with like that patina, like that gray tint to it.
It was a whole new introduction of Finn Balor. They dropped the Balor Club logo and did this really cool fire 80s lettering that kind of reminded me of Dazzler a little bit.
Oh, wow. Dazzler.
Yeah, seriously.
I can see it. I can see that.
You know what I mean? But it was cool, man. I dug it. I really did. But he comes out with new gear.
And that was the thing, is the way the camera worked. You see the new trunks. They were gray. They matched the No Mercy logo with kind of that gray, like, I don't know if you want to throw in an image
naked
here. Yeah, who knows?
He looked naked.
He looked
with
naked.
No dick and balls. It was weird. But the jacket was sick.
The jacket was cool. The trunks were whatever.
Then he gets to the ring.
Jumps into the ring. Man, the knee pads, the silver boots. Oh, he looked like a creative character. Whew. He looked like some guy that like nobody would wear those custom colors.
Defines white hot.
Oh, seriously. Yeah, seriously. And so
He'll be marking out on the dude like, oh my God, yes! The sexy man that comes in this ring!
He had me believing in it.
Every bit of him is made out of muscle!
That guy has not eaten a carb since probably 2001. Seriously. Like, he doesn't even know what a donut looks like.
What's a donut?
What's a can of beer? You know, what's a donut? So, I mean, you know, anyway, Finn looking awesome. Man-on-man action. He goes to take off the jacket. Bray Wyatt immediately. Classic heel face psychology here. Jumps him from behind, gives him a solid beat down to the point where the referees are jumping in, and Bray is beating him so badly that Finn can no longer continue.
Even though he dislocated his shoulder at SummerSlam and continued.
That's such a bummer that they want to do that angle where, okay, a couple stomps to the guts, man.
Doesn't work
Bray,
anymore.
He's done with
that doesn't work anymore, but the psychology of the face versus heel.
Classic.
And
he gets about 3/4 of the way up the ramp. Bray Wyatt grabs the stick, gets on there. Look, this is the one that you worship. This is your hero. I'm a god. Oh, awesome stuff to the point where it really started selling the match for me from that point because Finn,
classic.
All right, I'm done. Pushes the referees aside, comes down there, and I'm like, okay, he's going to slide in, and he's going to take his sister Abigail right away. I was being very negative originally. He slides in, starts taking the fight right to Bray. And man, their chemistry is solid, even though I don't think people really like where their story is going or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think they put on some really cool matches.
Yeah. The chemistry between them is good. It's just maybe timing. I don't know. I don't think they should have pushed the demon so quickly. Yeah, that's probably what really happened.
Even though it's really cool to see. I mean, I know a lot of people are kind of losing faith.
But it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
be. They shouldn't do the whole demon thing every time. It's once
he's been pushed to the limit, he has to be a demon.
Dude, let it be where it's like I can't beat this dude. I need to bring out my demon.
So you're saying very much how they did it with
NXT.
I think it was Samoa Joe.
Yeah, it was Samoa Joe
that beat him a couple times and really.
I can't get over on Joe. I can't get over on him.
And if we remember correct, he beat Joe, and then Joe beat him as the demon. Yeah. So the demon is not unbeatable, folks. But, of course, NXT never happened once you get called up to the main roster because it doesn't matter what you did before.
One of the best spots probably of the night came from that match when Bray was doing the single suplexes.
Oh, those overhead release suplex.
Oh, my God.
Tossing him halfway across the ring. He did the first one. And
showing that he was brute strength behind Bray.
But, just to cut you off, even though that was legit one of the spots of the night, right before that, Finn got a little snug with a kick or something like that, and Bray's lip was busted open, and he beautifully improvised it, and he sees the blood, and he goes, "You made me bleed!" Like very arrogant, like ha ha ha, into his evil laugh.
Before we get any further,
and then
did anyone notice that there was a bit of blood? I noticed
this kind of color all over the place tonight.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And we will get to that. But honestly, he started doing, like you said, those single suplexes, tossing him halfway across the ring. 1, 2,
heard that. You
3,
heard that
and it was like, man, 3 of them? Like, I wouldn't have taken the second one, you know what I'm saying? But, Finn definitely showing that he can take a beating, and you know what? I mean, there's nothing but muscle to fall on, so you ain't going to break that guy. You know what I mean? So it goes. Classic, as we said before, heel, babyface tactics. The big comeback comes. Finn Balor lands all his stuff. Coup de grace. Bray kicks out of the coup de grace, which led us to see that Finn can finish the match with the 1916, or as some of you Japanese fans remember, it's called Bloody Sunday. That Irish reverse brainbuster type thing, you know what I mean? So definitely very cool. Always great to see Finn get a win, and we definitely love Bray.
Either way, next match!
And here we go, folks. Tag team titles on the line. Two really
tag team match.
Yeah. So really, that was so Predator. Like, oh, you son of a bitch! Yeah, bicep curl. Oh, veins popping out. Braun! You know you love us, folks. But two really, really solid tag teams here as we have. Rollins and Ambrose, kind of the pseudo-shield. And then you've got the Bar. Sheamus and Cesaro.
I am loving, bro, do it. Ready? The Bar. Actually, I think you got to do the other one.
You got to do the other one. Or I got to do it. It's got to
plug that shit. Probably the best thing they've done so far was teaming up these two and finally getting it right.
After they had that best of 7 stuff where it's like, man, you
No,
guys
we're
made
not
them
done.
have so many matches against each other and saw how good it was and the way they just clobbered each other in that 7th
Tag team
match.
division
You
is
got to
just-
get together
just-
after you beat the. You know how it goes in real life, folks. I know that some of you
Triple H, Stone Cold.
exactly. You can be in the ring and kick the crap out of each other, and then be totally cool afterwards because, like,
Triple H, Stone Cold.
hey, exactly, boom. So the bar here.
They actually, after tonight, or last night, or whatever day it is in the Wilber Club universe.
East Side. Yeah, sorry, folks. We're on East Side time.
East
so.
Side Intergalactic time.
So, definitely, as you were saying, really cool match. Even before
It's old school.
the spot happened. Holy crap. Cesaro takes a catapult. And this was just as I was saying, I hate this move because the guy has to jump to sell it so hard. Cesaro
It's a
jumps.
dumb fake move.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you know,
I
you
hate
can't
it.
you can't grab somebody's
within
legs
that
and
moment-
toss them over your head like that. It's gravity. Their legs would break first. You know what I mean? Because they're anyway. Forget physics. The Wilber Club. The Wilber Club has no science. It's all about wrestling. Anyway, so he jumps so high that he smashes his face into the turnbuckle. And as of later injuries, we hear that he didn't break his teeth out. He actually shoved them 4 millimeters into his upper gums, right into that face bone jaw connector area. And straight up,
dude,
Pops Wilber called out the spot of the night because Cesaro smiled after he had the teeth spot, and you see Chimuelo, and he looked like an old drunk that fell on his face. It was great, and like
Every bump, dude. Every bump, and he took in that match after that was just blood squirting out.
what about? Let's see now the
After it happened, he held it in because the ref's the gloves came off, and he held it in until he did the kick.
and you just saw the red mist. Looked like there was a sniper in the building. Just.
Great effect.
And, you know, showing how tough he is, he finishes out where he was supposed to do.
I miss stuff like this, man.
You know, that, I guess, is whatever because it happened as an accident. It was hard way blood.
But it showed how much, Cesaro can go, dude. Like...
He's a horse.
Dude.
The guy's a human horse.
Oh,
No
my
pun
goodness.
intended about the teeth. I mean, the guy's absolutely strong. He's fast. He's
And every bump he took,
elegant.
he took his bump, got out, and went tag.
Sheamus,
Tag,
of course,
cleaned
comes
up.
in. Yep. And he cleaned up a little bit. Exactly. Sheamus comes in, does his work with Rollins. They go back and forth. Cesaro comes in and starts landing the spots he's supposed to land. Man, what a vicious power bomb from the middle rope. Power bomb Seth Rollins on top of Dean Ambrose's prostrate
That was a
body.
sick finisher, dude.
I thought that should have been the end.
Yeah.
And of course, Dean Ambrose, being a maniac, somehow is able to kick out. Before that, he had taken a crazy spot with the steps. He ate a kick from a couple of guys. Who knows if that was a receipt for the for the accident that happened?
Match of the night, by far. We're just gonna call him that.
I agree.
Match of the night.
Either way, somehow,
Tag team division in Raw is hot right now.
somehow Ambrose and Rollins were able to isolate one guy here and one guy there as we're rocking out to M1 being contacted. He's a busy guy here, folks. Anyway, next match.
Women's match. Next match!
And we're going to go straight to the important match here of the night, the Women's Fatal 5-Way.
5 woman.
What's better than 1 woman, Mikey?
5 woman.
Yes. Exactly.
Fatal 5-way.
Anyway, this was really cool.
Great work, women.
Classic, old
All of
school.
you.
We got to team up on the Giant, Nia Jax. We got to team up on the Powerhouse. Interesting thing, I get it that it was done to showcase how big and strong and powerful she is, but she was the only wrestler that her weight was announced during her intro.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So, hopefully it... Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What? WWE, what's up with that?
What y'all doing?
You shaming now? You shaming
Are
people?
we shaming people for
Shaming
the
the
size?
weight?
She's Samoan, brother. There ain't nothing
yeah,
she can do about that size,
you
man.
don't
That's
have
natural.
Exactly.
That's
She's
natural
Samoan. You don't have to tell me her weight. I know she's a powerhouse. Look at her. She's not like most girls.
And that was my big thing when they announced it. And I was like, oh, I get it. They're doing it
Look,
for power.
that's,
but if you're going to do it as a powerhouse thing, then
you
why
need
not?
to change the music. Seriously, please change her music, dude.
You don't like that
because
she's like not like most girls?
I do like it, but make it metal or something, dude, because that poppity bippity boop, no. I can't get into that she's that powerful with that kind of music.
Could you imagine if they had that same type of version in a men's style for Braun?
I like Braun.
I'm not like most dudes. I'm bigger and I'm stronger and you know, something like that, you know?
Braun!
And then Nia! Who knows? It could work. Try it in your heads. WWE 2K18 is coming out. Try that. You can customize all the entrances.
Oh, dude, we should do that with Nia Jax and show her.
But so the women, awesome stuff.
Great psychology throughout the entire
Nia Jax built as the powerhouse, taking out everybody immediately. Taking out everybody, you know, cleaning house, handling business, holding
slamming
court,
them left and right.
left and right. And then finally it was one of those things where it's like, hey, why don't we take out the big threat and make this thing a fatal four-way? And this was also a nominee for Wilber Club Spot of the Night. That powerbomb spot that Nia Jax took to the outside. She was on the ring, holding the top rope, and you've got Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. Or no, sorry,
that Shin girl.
No, I believe I forget who it was. It was Alexa and Emma, I think, holding her in the powerbomb position, and then Sasha and Bayley.
Yep.
Hit the ropes, drop kick, so it was a quadruple effort, and Nia Jax takes a massive powerbomb to the outside of the ring.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
whoa.
nominee for runner-up for the spot of the night. That was teamwork at its
Honestly, if
best.
Cesaro wouldn't have smashed his face and bled everywhere, Nia Jax definitely takes the cake on that bump. So you move in and legit psychology of, okay, we cut one head off here. Let's go. Fatal four-way. My little MVP of this match, low-key, was Emma.
Emma.
Great to see her back. And she was the old-school, heelish wrestler of the crew. Because, you know, like, of course, Bayley and Nia have a lot, or excuse me, Bayley and Sasha have a lot of experience on the indies and whatnot. Nia Jax, more of a homegrown, Nia Jax, more homegrown, and so is Alexa Bliss. Homegrown NXT Performance Center type and never any experience on the indies. Well, Emma been around a lot longer than all those three combined. You know what I mean? As far as this four-way is concerned. So she took control, definitely, man. Showcased, I'm the wrestler out of this group. She hit her double splash after she stacked everybody up. Nia Jax.
I want to see more of her.
Absolutely. She's got to be out there. And, you know, she is. Her and Paige were in that major match in NXT, which started the women's revolution of NXT, which of course snowballed into what we have now, which is a great ass match between five girls. Before Nia Jax took the powerbomb, she double stacked Sasha and Alexa.
Sick.
Samoan drop, very John Cena like when he AA'd Big Show and Edge back in the day, just showcasing pure power. You know what I mean? And very cool. But in the end, numbers game happens. Some interesting psychology between Bayley and Sasha because they stole each other's covers.
Yep.
And so it's like, I thought we were best friends, but it's like, come on, man, I can't just let you win. You know. Anyway, Alexa Bliss can.
I can watch that match all day between that.
It was dope. It was dope, honestly. And you know, in my opinion, with wrestling, the more people you start to add to a match, the more confusing, convoluted it starts to get, and it's just so tough.
It was my second favorite match of the night.
But yeah, they over-delivered. Not that my expectations were low in any shape or form, but it over-delivered. I didn't think that we were going to see.
Yeah, it was one of those
that amount.
Women's match when it came on. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like, I was looking forward to this one a lot.
Definitely. Wow. And Alexa Bliss somehow in the end able to capitalize on all the confusion between everybody. Hits her move with that strong DDT, retains the title, and I believe that she pinned Bayley. So Bayley, I don't know if they're going to repackage her or we're going to see a different side of her now that her and Sasha went at it.
It's going to be hard to push her as a heel right now, man. I think the heel turn's going to be on Sasha Banks because
well, she's better at it. Yeah. I would say, you know. But, you know, everybody sounded like they were over, you know, especially after that performance. I think they got a well-deserved ovation.
Next match!
Next match, I'm not sure if we're right in the order, but we're going to go ahead and go to the co-main event of the evening. We got Roman Reigns, John Cena. You were in order. Okay. All right, yeah.
Match I was really looking forward to. The build up to this was great.
Yeah, Cena definitely getting the better of the talking, which is kind of what he's been doing for a long time. Say what you want about the guy, if you're a fan or not. I'm not a huge fan of his in-ring style, but man, the guy's awesome.
You know
outside
what?
the ring.
You know what?
He's a top guy.
No, I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't. I gotta go off, dude.
Mikey overload, folks.
Dude.
Meltdown happening. Meltdown happening.
This should have happened a long time ago, bro. Like, you know me. I've never been a fan of Cena. I understand what he is. He's never had a bad match. Bing, bang, boom. But what it started as a handshake should have ended in a handshake. This match was too much, too little, too late. You're trying to capitalize on a guy that can't get over, so we're going to use the other guy that pretty much either buries or get other guys over. It was, dude. It's such a bad mess with Roman Reigns, with John Cena, how things should have been, how things were booked. And right now, it's how that match started. You could tell. It's like, oh, bye. Oh, whatever. It was such a slow start, and my ass fell asleep.
You definitely did fall asleep. I tried to wake you up to watch replays of some crazy spots that happened. Because, honestly, the match was, to me, whatever. Classic John Cena stuff, where it's David and Goliath.
There was just like this weird like ambiance over the crowd of like, what is going on right now? What is happening? What is happening right now?
Apparently the crowd was, I've heard different reports that the crowd was very, very hot for both guys, but we watched it live on the network and not knowing whatever was going on, but it seemed like Cena got way more of a positive reaction than Roman did. And instead of let's go Cena, Cena sucks, we were getting let's go Cena, Roman sucks. So like, it was what it was. To me, classic John Cena match, David and Goliath. You know, he was honestly like every time Roman would hit him, he would fall, and then it goes into shoulder tackle. He was there. No, there was moments.
Completely overselling Roman as a strong fucking dude in the midst.
It was an interesting psychological match.
He sat in that corner.
The second half of the match was nothing but, once, Roman hit a spear through the table.
That was
which
cool.
was really cool. One announce table to the other, spear, down.
And that's why we didn't get any more spots for the rest of the night.
That honestly was a bummer because leading into the main event, it was like, man, they took out one of the tables. That means that Brock and Braun ain't going to hit any tables. But, hey, it was what it was. Announce table collapses through a spear. It was really crazy. Things go back on. And honestly, the second half of the match was just nothing but countering Roman Reigns kicking out of AAs.
Four AAs,
including the Avalanche AA into the Fireman Carry AA, which is what he beat AJ Styles with. And, hey, I understand that through kayfabe or the opinions of fans, when you look at a guy like AJ Styles and you look at a guy like Roman Reigns, you would think it would take a little more to put away a guy like Roman, big Samoan brother, and honestly, I enjoy his work in the ring. I just thought the way this started and end was he's Superman.
John Cena's going back on break.
Yeah, actually, it is confirmed. He is going to go film Bumblebee, and he's actually felt like he's needed some, probably not surgery, but some physical therapy. I guess there's been some injuries reported, or he's saying that he's hurting. He was on the Edge and Christian podcast saying how I'm not going to be around if I can't go the way I've always been able to go. So, got to respect him as a dope performer and a very elite athlete when it comes down to it. That, if I'm losing a step, I got to step away and regain it. I'll go do some projects, get healthy. So hopefully, I'd rather see John Cena 100% health than have him at 70%. But it was still a cool match. He had a really cool quote.
The future seems bleak.
And they did the thing where, hey,
and you
right
got
here,
booze.
Just like, and a lot of people have said this, exactly like when The Rock came out at the Royal Rumble for Roman, and they booed The Rock for trying to put over Roman. And it's just like,
it's not working, guys. It's not working. It's not working. So stop pushing something that nobody likes on everybody.
It
sounds like an administration that no one's a fan of right now.
Honestly, if we're pushing an agenda, there's nothing anybody can do about it if it's coming from the top. But honestly, my thing, Roman is dope in the ring. He has he's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
He's in great
pro
shape.
Roman until what happened.
And he's just the character of Roman Reigns. Who knows where that's supposed to go or what he is.
I liked him until Vince started to puppet him. It became Vince's puppet.
Hopefully we see this as Roman Reigns being more of the guy and being able
he needs to be a heel, man. He needs to do exactly what The Rock did. It worked for The Rock. It worked for him. You even said so as we were watching it. It's like, please, Roman, hit Cena. Please just betray him right now so Mikey can pop.
Well, yeah, I mean, you slept through the whole thing, so I'm like, please give Mikey something to cheer about. I thought during the hand raise we would get a clothesline or something. I'm like, please hit him, man. Show us that you are evil,
I would have
Roman.
popped so hard for Roman and immediately been a Roman fan again.
So, I mean, hey.
That shows that, yeah, I am the guy that does whatever I want when I want to.
And then, you know what?
I don't care who you are. I'm going to step all over you.
That's a different
because
segment.
I'm the guy.
This is a different segment. You cannot book. This is a different segment. You can't book during a review. Anyway, Roman and Cena, this was legit a matchup a lot of people wanted to see. This was a WrestleMania caliber match, just like they advertised it. Exactly. And, hey, it was what it was. Probably didn't meet a lot of expectations, but I think Cena did what he was supposed to do, and he put the young kid over, and he's great at doing it when he does it. So, moving on to something we are not going to cover much of.
Really? Next match.
Cruiserweight.
How do you bury a division?
Cruiserweight title.
You give it to this guy.
We're not so happy with it.
No.
But hey,
next match.
Main event time. We have the Monster Among Men. The former strongman champion, Braun! Facing off with the Beast incarnate, former UFC heavyweight champion, former Division I wrestling champion, Brock Lesnar.
Former New Japan Pro Wrestling champion, that they never mentioned.
They did not. And
never mentioned.
Probably
won on his first match.
So they get into the ring, and the first thing everybody notices is that, wow, Brock Lesnar is probably for the first time ever totally undersized in every way. Because although Undertaker was always taller than him, Brock was like thicker. But Braun, man, 6'8", 385 pounds.
Monster among men.
Legitimate monster among men. And we got the match to start. Everything was really cool. It was built up in the same way the Raw was, where Braun was just so intimidating and really shocking Brock Lesnar, because Brock just couldn't impose his will as he's been able to do with everybody.
Like, fuck, man, you're huge.
Exactly. And and Brock Lesnar, for as much as people talk about, there's a lot of fans on message boards call him lazy, whatever, but when he decides to work, he's got the best facial expressions when he's afraid, or he's got the best, he can juice like anything, because if you hit that scar tissue, he bleeds everywhere. He's got the best spaghetti legs because, hey, it's happened to him in real life, folks. Happens to us all. Sometimes you get hit and you fall down, But, he definitely sold on the run. Very cool, like not leaving his feet type of thing at first. But when Braun started taking advantage, it was like, man, this guy's just tougher than me. I gotta rethink this. End of the match comes, and we get Brock decides, hey, this guy is too big. He tried to pick him up in the F5 a few times. Couldn't pick him up. Back went out twice. And so he goes back old school, slaps the Kimura lock on Braun, and Braun looked very weak for probably one of the very first times ever.
He did, dude.
Because he was, this is a guy that walked away from
he went, holy shit, that hurts.
Yep, because he was cranking that arm. He really was cranking it. And it seemed like the ref was letting it go, because it looked like Braun was in the ropes a couple times, like had a hold of him, and then finally got the ropes, got the break, and then when they separated, Braun sold that arm the whole time, like to the point where I was really believing that maybe Brock slapped it on for real. It was like, hey, slow down here, or something like that. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but hey, man, if you make us believe it here at the Wilber Club, man, we love that shit. So I was eating it up like butter. I eat butter. Thanks, that's my secret. I'm actually 176 years old. That's how I keep this glow. That and this amazing lighting. because M1 has come to take your soul. And so the end of the match, after the submission, there was some more power moves and whatnot, and some really close kickouts by Brock Lesnar.
And then the match just got
kind of sloppy near the end there, and then at the end sequence, you hear
just
the crowd went flat, and then you hear from Brock Lesnar, he whispers, "Cover me." And it was a very late cover by Braun after one of those like crazy moves that he did. Brock kicks out, immediately picks him up. F5, one F5 to take out Braun Strowman. So it was like that weird...
it just ended weird.
Same thing that happened with Cena, where like Cena hit Roman 4 times with an AA, can't kick out of one spear. So we get, Braun going after Brock, surviving the submission, hitting him with the running power slam multiple times, and then loses to one F5. And from what all the reports that were online was that the LA crowd actually booed Braun Strowman as he left the ring, which would have that did not air on the network because it left with Lesnar holding the belt still, somehow surviving. So hopefully, with the way you don't want to be negative, but the way a lot of fans think that this like totally buries Braun Strowman, it's like, bro, that is Brock Lesnar. That guy's kind of legit invincible. Unless you're in a UFC fight, it's always believable that Lesnar comes back and wins because he legitimately is a beast.
Roman. He's gonna drop it to Roman.
Who knows what could happen?
Drop it to Roman. Gonna drop it to Roman. So Roman will be the first ever Universal and Intercontinental Champion.
Universal Grand Slam champion?
No, Universal and Intergalactic Intercontinental Universal Champion.
Universal. We don't even know how to say it.
They're gonna give it to him, man. Both belts, the white and the red.
So honestly,
because Roman Reigns is no mercy.
He showed it, man. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because we are getting short on time here. Thank you for joining us here at the Wilber Club, Old School Edition.
Old School, guys. We'll be right back with a special edition double feature. We're about to go watch Raw.
Get more out of life. Go out to a movie.
Monday Night Raw, man. This is the day after No Mercy, and we are still here on a very special
double feature.
The lighting is crazy, just like our No Mercy.
Dude, how do you revive a division? By burying it and giving it a rebirth? Like, what a way to end Raw, really.
Raw. Okay, so we will. M1 is hype because the way, if you remember earlier, you were not enjoying Enzo Amore.
No, we skipped right through that because they pretty much, I thought they just buried the entire division.
By putting it on Enzo?
Yeah.
Well, Raw ended tonight, and I guess we're just going to go straight to the ending of Raw, right? I mean,
it opened up great with the whole...
Miz and Roman.
Let's talk about that really quick. That opened up great because that was the side of Roman Reigns that we need to see.
Yeah, the cocky guy, you know what I mean? Because he's kind of just...
the badass Samoan, dude.
Does what he wants, man, And
that's the guy I want. That's the guy that I can do whatever I want and stomp on whoever I want on whenever I want to and take whatever is yours.
And the promo wasn't the way it was with John Cena, where it's supposed to be give and take. It was the Miz would say stuff, and Roman was able to just respond very strong, like
Miz is so good. He's so good on that mic, dude.
Man, the Miz is something else.
Good.
The Miz is something else.
So Ric Flair-esque of him.
Totally, yeah. And bring in that, he's brought so much relevance. Well,
yeah, that title's my favorite title of them all, dude. Like, even over the heavyweight title.
It really is.
It is. It's literally my favorite fucking championship, dude. It literally is, dude. Like, back in the 80s and 90s, that was the championship. That meant you're the guy. That meant you're the guy.
You're the next one up.
You're the guy.
So... Exactly.
the RRE network.
A lot of teasing early in Raw, even with Roman and Miz, back and forth, and it was cool, like you said, Roman being more of a confident guy, just off the cuff, instead of coming out there by himself trying to do a promo on why he's the big dog and all that stuff. It was really cool because Miz is awesome, but there was a lot of hinting at the fact that we might see the Shield versus Miztourage very soon. Who knows? So that is what it is.
We all know what we want to see. We want to see the Shield against the Balor Club, the original club. We want to see the club and Finn Balor against
that
the
would
Shield.
be really awesome if they could reunite all the good brothers there and have Anderson and Gallows with Finn. Man, that would just be something else. And then
You know what else happened at Raw today? Did anyone see that Instagram post that came from the Bullet Club today?
The invasion of the Bullet Club. They were outside of the arena.
Happened. It has begun.
Happened. It has begun.
The second war has begun.
This legit was reminiscent of DX coming in with the tank.
WCW against WWE, dude. It's the war has begun again. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it, dude. The war has begun. It's ROH and New Japan against WWE, and they've come in heavy swinging. They were there.
And honestly, yeah, and that's the thing. They were totally there. That's really cool. Their presence was noted. If you look through the crowd, every other person has got a Bullet Club shirt,
dude,
or Villain Club, or Cody Rhodes.
Every show you see now on WWE, everybody's wearing not our shirts, but the Bullet Club shirts.
No, that was good. That was good. We're safe from copyrights, right? Yes. Anyway, so no, moving on. No, but yeah, the invasion took place. There was a lot of interesting stuff that happened on Raw, and but the biggest things of note here is that we had Alexa Bliss come out, celebrate her. She retained the title, and apparently on Raw, or the pay-per-view talk show afterwards, she said something about Mickie James being irrelevant. Mickie James, looking lovely as ever in non-ring gear, came out there in just a regular outfit, came in there, and they had a little promo, and she was saying, hey, little girl, blah, 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 this very much cocky stuff back and forth about
good promo work, really.
Well, with Mickie James, she's always been gold on the mic for years.
I'm really hoping what's going on in the women division is kayfabe right now, and I think it works because it hasn't been done.
Well, as exactly. So now we're talking about a heel champion, Alexa Bliss, that retained at No Mercy through like trickery and in a fatal 5-way, and now she called out the top legit vet, Mickie James, who. Like I said earlier, man, I've always loved Mickie James since day one. Gorgeous, beautiful, awesome. Yes, exactly. You've known this. She's awesome, and she still got a lot to offer in the ring. 6-time women's champion, and they haven't booked her like in the proper way, but now maybe in a rivalry with Alexa here.
They work well
because tonight, man, they threw the mics down, and Mickie James hit her with the mitt kick, and she was wearing like these giant heels, man. Like, how dope is she to like lay that in and not like slice open an artery or something on Alexa Bliss? So that was really cool to see. As far as the title pictures go, that's whatever. Cesaro was ringside in a match of Sheamus versus Seth Rollins. Yeah, so Cesaro was there.
No, wait, that was a
recent surgery.
Sorry, that was.
That's later on. We're talking title pictures here. We're trying to spin through Raw here. Of course, there was some.
Raw is very long to watch.
It's 3 hours long, folks. And so there was, of course, you had Elias versus Apollo. Elias going over again. Titus attacking him. So that's whatever. But we're talking title picture. And so the half of the tag team champions went at it with the injury of Cesaro. He had the facial surgery. Hopefully get him back 100%. That guy's
the entire match,
probably legitimately the Swiss cyborg, man. So that guy's probably got some healing powers. We'll see him back in the ring before you know it, better than ever. But tonight we had Sheamus against Rollins. It was a cool match. I believe Rollins ended up winning after hitting his it was the interference. No interference. It was just straight up type of distraction.
Yeah.
type thing because it was like, oh, I don't want to run
classic,
into you.
You know, classic
Yeah. So it's a distraction thing. Boom, Rollins ends up.
Bing, bing, boom.
Yeah. As far as there was a recap of John Cena kind of talking about how, hey, I might be done for right now. I got to step away type of thing. We all know he's going to go off and film Bumblebee. So he has a project going. So that's good for him. Oh. But anyway,
Monday Night Raw!
Back to Raw. We have Braun Strowman. Sorry, it started with Kurt Hawkins is in the ring, and he famously has a 0-18 losing streak since he's been back on TV. This guy's an honorary member.
He was hired back to be a jobber, dude.
Exactly,
Seriously.
but he's good on the mic. He's got a good look,
Great on
and he
the
makes
mic.
everybody look good. Honorary member of the Bullet Club. You've seen his work in Japan and all throughout the Indies, man. Kurt Hawkins can really go. But so they're actually probably realizing that this is an angle here where he keeps losing, but at the same time he's putting people over. So he's saying, here we go. Who wants to make history? Because if he gets his first win, you're going to be immortalized in WWE because he was the guy to beat you after his losing streak. So, of course, we get the music of none other than Braun! Braun Strowman comes out to meet the challenge. Kurt Hawkins says, nope. Jumps out of the ring, runs around the arena. Braun cuts him off, gets Kurt Hawkins, and like in a sprint grabs him, sprints him down.
Dude.
So it showcases the power and like agility and
Fucking
speed
monster,
and this
dude.
scary giant. Like not of, as we talked about before,
Greatest
No Mercy
book-
was very 90s type.
Yeah,
90s
dude.
type wrestling where it was the
Classic
giant
90s,
versus
yeah.
this and that.
The
especially
heavy hitter against the giant, the good guy against the bad guy,
Yep,
the
the
heel against the baby face.
the young
Yeah.
legend against the old school
when you get
legend.
that's classic psychology that I love. But then if you put in great matches into that, dude, then that's where they need to go with wrestling right now. I mean, with WWE.
It's very
Stick-
difficult.
If
I think
you
it's
stick to
difficult.
that form by combining those two formulas, that classic '90s, mentality, psychology of wrestling, good guy, bad guy, but you intertwine the actual performance of wrestling, because that's what we want to see, is it not?
Oh, of course. And I think that there's a weird, as we said earlier in the review.
I love backstage footage. I
mean,
love
we
it,
were
dude.
talking about
You know this, man.
Jason Jordan. This is a guy that's an elite athlete and a dope ass in ring wrestler, but doesn't have a ton of charisma going for him right now. And that's a bummer because, like, man, I really want to see that guy go as far as he can go, just based on how good he is in the ring. But if he doesn't get into that storytelling, performance part.
That's a part of entertainment.
And not to single him out. This is all this is WWE, this is Ring of Honor, this is New Japan. Like, there's aspects to the
storyline is very important.
Of course, yeah.
It's very important.
There's aspects to the entire feud or whatever you want to call it. So,
Either way, where do we leave off? He chases after him and bing, bang, boom.
catches him, picks him up, power slams him
yeah.
through the neon screen, through the Tron, if you will. Just throws him through.
The small piece of plastic that just has.
Yeah, but the LEDs went out. There was a little, the screen went out for a second. It was very cool looking.
I know how that works.
Of course.
It's very cool looking. Yes, it is.
Would you volunteer to have him slam you through this fucking thing?
No.
Okay. So Kurt Hawkins, once again, hey man, looking not that anyone needs anything to make Strowman look strong, but anyway, so Strowman grabs the mic and he says, "I'm gonna stand in the ring all night long until somebody brings me a real fight." And Corey Graves goes, "We might be here all night long," type of thing. And
so great on commentary, man.
He's the savior of misbehavior. That guy is bad. Corey Graves is one dope-ass commentator, man. So you get
double feature
action.
Old school.
Braun Strowman is standing in the ring waiting for somebody to bring him a real fight. Dean Ambrose music hits. And he comes out, and he's got his shoulder wrapped up. He comes out, and he sees Kurt Hawkins laying in the rubble there, and he looks over, and he's like, whoa. Looks at the ring. Looks at the rubble, looks at the ring, goes, Yeah, why not? And goes to the ring. So dope psychology right there because, Ambrose is that Street Fighter crazy lunatic guy. And they actually had a dope-ass match. Very competitive. There was probably the dopest spot, in my opinion. And I thought, man, you got to save that for a pay-per-view for a guy like Strowman. Was Ambrose hits the suicide dive. Strowman catches him. And Ambrose reverses it into a tornado DDT. The thud, I don't know. You remember that sound? That shit sounded like a watermelon getting hit with a baseball bat. Just boof. You know what I mean? Just explodes. But anyway, Strowman still looked strong. He recovered from everything. Was able to pin and beat Dean Ambrose. So that was something. And then the main event.
You've never sniffed this hour.
Wow. Okay, go ahead with the cruiserweight
No,
thing.
man, like
You said it already, right?
I thought they had it buried. I thought it was done and buried with. But I guess that's how you revive it.
We didn't even cover the cruiserweight match in the review of No Mercy.
Yeah,
We said, hey, they gave it to a guy that
can't wrestle.
can't wrestle at all.
He's really good on the mic, though.
But man, that guy's $1 million on the mic.
$1 million.
And I think anyway, okay. Sorry, guys. Enzo Amore wants to host the Certified G Championship celebration, right? So initially in the first segment of Raw, he goes to Kurt Angle. He's like, hey, we said, every champion gets a celebration. I want, a Certified G celebration. I want this, I want that, bam, bam, bam.
Bang, bang, boom, man.
And Kurt Angle finally goes, okay, you can have it. All right, fine. But hey, this is your first championship, right? And Enzo goes, yeah. And he's got the belt around his shoulder, wearing it proudly, which is okay, He's putting it over. And he says, yeah. And he goes, do you want a little bit of advice from a Hall of Famer? And he goes, no. And just walks away. Well, I don't think you remember that part with the promo. Yeah. So disrespects Kurt Angle, who's like one of the greatest champions WWE's ever known.
Ever.
Obviously never was a cruiserweight, but, telling him this is your first time with the championship, maybe no, So he goes on and on. Enzo's demanding things. Finally, the last segment with Kurt Angle is that he wants a clause that says no one can lay a hand on him. Whoever touches him during a celebration will lose their chance at a title shot. And so Kurt Angle finally signs the clause and he goes, Enzo, let me just tell you something for real. You're so annoying. And if any of you guys read the dirt sheets online, we've heard that Enzo Amore has been kicked off of the bus on tours. He now dresses with the enhancement talent. Basically kicked out of the locker room for kind of being annoying, I guess. I don't know. That's what they say on the gossip. So I guess we can't confirm that. But if they're going to include it in storyline, Vince loves that type of shit. And Enzo's good enough on the mic that he can recover from almost anything. And this is what happens. He comes out there celebrating, wants to retire his jersey. I'm so awesome. The entire cruiserweight division comes out, and he roasts each and every one of them. He said, Grand Metalik, I know you don't want to show your face, but when you got a gut like that, I wouldn't show my face either. How you doing? And then he called Jack Gallagher, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, undefeated MMA fighter, called him Little Teacup. He was going down the line, calling everybody out. And finally, Neville's music hits. Neville comes out. What did you think about what he had to say to Enzo?
Bit scripted.
He delivered. I think
he
looked distraught. His hair was over his face.
I think the last two lines were good, were solid. Where he's like, "I represent, cruiserweight, and I'm here to end you." And just
on behalf of the cruiserweight division, I'm here to end you.
And just
What about the remark about how he said, 2 years ago you arrived on Raw to much fanfare. Recently, you were dumped on our doorstep.
Yeah, that was good too.
I mean, do you think that was scripted, or was that? Well, I mean, it had to be scripted, but I'm just saying.
True though.
The delivery was
good, But then he was all like, "This is the first time you had the prime hour of Raw, thanks to me."
That's true. He said you've never even sniffed this hour of Raw, and you held the title for 9 months. And he held up.
You opened up WrestleMania on a pre-show with that belt, and yet here I am. Ending Raw.
And so finally, Enzo pulls out the no contact clause, and he goes, look, I got this clause. You know it. You can't touch me. You ever want to see this belt again, you'll never touch me. Finally, Neville just snaps, man, and just started laying in the offense.
Laid the
Man.
waste,
Hit him
dude.
with the kick, threw him over the ropes, tossed him into the barricade, very brutal style. Tossing
Very
him
classic
around.
way to end Raw.
Yeah, totally. Because and not only that, but he drags him back into the ring and stuffs that no contact clause in his mouth. And very old school, man. We remember Neville when he was Pac back in the day here when he was wrestling here on the West Coast, when he was wrestling all over the world. Back before he had a beard, he had this weird curly hair. You got to Google the pictures if you don't remember Pac. But he's one of those from Mount Rushmore Academy of the club. So he's an honorary Bullet Club man, if you remember him from all over the indies. So he went back into that channeling of
Thanks, Reddit.
do whatever the fuck you want, Yeah, go to Reddit if you don't. Anyway, dope way to end Raw, man.
Yeah.
Really liked it. As you said, brought back the division. And this is one of the first Raws that you actually watched in a long time. So, Anyway.
I try to watch as much as possible, but it's mostly just, WWE.com. Oh, what happened? This mighty device in my hand that gives me updates.
Anyway, folks, we appreciate you joining us here for the double feature. Too Sweet to Delete reviews of No Mercy and No Mercy Raw. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Super old school
Podcast here tonight, folks. We're having a great night with you guys. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you for being Too Sweet to Delete. We are Too Sweet to Delete. See you later. Do not get deleted. Ugh.